I was in, Ivory Coast, Africa several months ago, and there were 1,800 students from 35 countries there. It was one of the greatest teaching times I ever had with about 18 to 25-year-old, mainly university students, young professionals. This young lady came up to me and she said, after the first day, they called me Papa Josh. And she said, Papa Josh, could I ask you a question you could only probably ask your father, but my father died of AIDS. So many of them there told me that. I don't know who my father is. My father left. My father died. And she got real close and she said, is oral sex really sex? I said, it seems to. Why do you think they call it sex? What is sex? Let me give you 4 situations that I would qualify as sex. Oral genital, manual genital, genital genital, and penetration.
Oral sex has become quite the rage recently. In fact, one study I saw in an international paper showed that between 12 and 17-year-olds, 54% had or performed oral sex. So what's the big deal? I think part of the rage is the fact that people think they're not going to get pregnant, which is true, or they think they're still a virgin, or that they're not going to get a sexually transmitted disease. But people underestimate the power of this activity and how it affects you. When my wife and I first got married, my wife came home because she was in a group with some women and they would just talk every week about their lives. And the topic of sexuality came up. And she told me, she said, you wouldn't believe that these women who are now married, happily married, had been involved in oral sex before their marriage. And now some of them were actually in counseling because of it, because of the memory, because the images locked within their minds are profoundly affecting them now. In fact, studies actually show that when it comes to oral sex, that every single STD in some way or another has been passed through oral sex.
Hand to genital, oral to genital, genital to genital, and penetration. All 4 can lead to HPV infection, and condoms don't help.